oddly enough.
Oh,
That's one more thing I wanted to go
okay.
over. It's
Yeah,
not hockey related, but it is BD sports related. So World Cup is starting up soon. If you guys didn't know, we will be covering that with our articles and stuff like that. You guys excited or what for the
I am
World Cup?
excited.
extremely.
It's legitimately a week away, guys. Like it doesn't feel like World
Yeah,
Cup
next
season at
Sunday.
all. Yeah,
So I'll tell you, my one complaint is I was looking at the times for specifically the Canada games, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to watch any of these games, man.
midnight.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. No, not at midnight. They're like 11 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Yeah.
But like I got
Oh,
class at that time. I'm gonna be
Don't we
swimming
don't
in
we
a
have a
dang
five
pool.
do we have a 5 o'clock game?
I'll
Five
check for you
AM?
guys if you wanna talk, and
Because
I'll
there will be 5 a.m. Eastern time, like Eastern Standard Time games. I know Argentina, I believe, plays one of those. Like that's my pick heading into this tournament to win. I'm hands on Team Argentina. Shout out Leo Messi.
their team is
I
so
give
good
Um,
this time going into it.
I'll tell you what the best
dude,
part about
I'm
Argentina
telling
is
you.
their kits. Their kits are like obscenely beautiful. I see them at my work. We've got a bunch of jerseys. We have tracksuits of them. Those things are fire, bro. Those things are specifically the purple and blue kits.
Those are
Real
nice. Yeah,
nice.
Hmm.
Really nice.
Germany actually has the same like design, but in German colors for their aways. And
Okay.
Well, they're all made by Adidas, right?
the one
Yeah, can
thing,
I just say like the Nike jerseys suck, guys.
yeah, I
I
agree.
Awful,
I
absolutely
am not a
awful.
fan
This
as a
Just get
non-soccer
get
fan.
Adidas to do them all.
I do
Yeah.
have one gripe about the Adidas jerseys, and it's such a first world problem. It's such a small thing that you guys are probably gonna rip on me for. The reverse wrestlers actually have the same issue. I don't
Hit me.
like how they took a like on the Adidas logo. They took out Adidas. Like it's just the three like stripes now. If that makes sense.
Listen, I'm a big jersey nerd too, but for some reason that doesn't bother me. Maybe it's because I prefer this actually, but it doesn't really.
On the
I'm
reverse
okay with
retros,
that.
it pisses me off. I don't know what it is. It
Interesting.
it's just so odd. Like I know they're trying to
I
go
haven't
minimal or
noticed.
whatever. You haven't noticed? Okay, maybe I'm just crazy.
Okay, so I have confirmed that I am. No, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm not stupid here. Yeah, no. So Belgium versus Canada, Wednesday, November 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We then have Croatia versus Canada, Sunday, November 27th. So I'll definitely get to watch that game. 11 a.m. Cool. And we then get Thursday, December 1st, Canada versus Morocco. Jesus. Morocco. 10 a.m. Eastern.
Quickly read out the USA
Okay.
games because you can actually watch the USA games on Football TV. You can actually watch all the World Cup games on Football TV if you're American and subscribe to Football. Obviously, shout out to Football.
I'll find you those US times.
Shout
Just
out.
give me a second here.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I mean, guys, could you imagine if we could watch like World Cup games on Football? Like, think about how
Oh
amazing that would be. That'd
my
be
God,
so
beautiful.
that'd be making things so much easier. I mean, obviously
Well,
it's gonna be on TV regardless,
Brian,
but
I have a question.
yeah,
Would we get CBC? Like, does CBC have thing, or is it only TSN for us?
CBC had World Cup in 2014, but they did not in 2018 because they went to TSN and CTV. We
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
that CBC has it again this year, unfortunately. But
Damn.
The
'Cause
US
I know you
plays
can.
Monday, Friday. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know you can watch Hockey Night in Canada games on
Yeah.
Fubo in Canada.
yep.
But that's like 2 games a week, basically. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something that I thought to mention.
All right, Christian, hit them with the times.
Monday, Friday, Sunday. So that's the 21st, the 25th, and the 29th. 2 p.m. starts. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be watching
Hmm.
more US games than Canada games, guys. I don't know. Specifically that Friday game, November 25th, US and England.
Oh
That'll
my
be fun.
goodness, that would be
There's
good.
some good matchups there.
Yeah.
One to watch. I won't lie to you. England Wales. I know like
Oh,
every
yeah.
time those two teams play, it's not as heated as England Scotland. If you watch an England Scotland game, I know that it was hyped up in the Euros, and I made a point to watch that game. Absolutely terrible. Like, that was legitimately one of the worst 90 minutes of soccer I've ever watched. I thought it was going to be a lot more heated than it actually was. But England Wales also have
No,
a
they go to
nice
war.
little rivalry going on there. Yeah, so maybe we actually get to see thing. I'm excited to watch the tournament, but yeah, no, 100%. England US definitely one to mark on your calendar for sure.
There's one more thing. Like I know Christian's not a soccer guy, but Wales actually have like he used to be like a top 5 player in the world in the like at one point. His name is
Gareth Bale,
yeah,
right?
Gareth Bale,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
pops off for Wales. Like when he puts on the
I
Wales shirt,
remember.
he goes crazy,
Oh
and
my
that's
god,
gonna be
What
interesting
was
to
the
see.
tournament when we were in high school, guys? What was it? Was that
Euro 2016.
Euro
Euro 2016?
2016.
Wasn't there England versus Wales in that tournament? Like, I
Yep,
feel like I might have.
yep, in the
Yeah.
group
Okay.
stage. Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, Mr. Casual Soccer fan here, even I remember that. So trust me, I love international soccer. I'm going to be watching these games one way or another. Do I got time here, Brian, to bring something soccer related up? I just came across right now.
You take all the time you want. We like doesn't matter.
I know. I think it's in my. Yeah, I know, right? I just came across an article rating the away kits in the World Cup. The first kit that comes up is Argentina's, where it's like all purple, and they rated it a 4 out of 10. Damn it, man!
Mm.
What- I guess I need to like. I guess the soccer brain is different from the hockey brain. You know what I
So
mean? Like, I wonder what I gotta ask soccer people what they think about hockey jerseys.
so the Argentina, like the classic like blue and white. That's like the one that everybody loves and that's like, iconic, right?
This is true.
They
This is
the
true.
and the deep blue is nice too, but like every Argentina fan, like they're in love with the blue and white. Kind of like how Italy, everybody loves the blue, right? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Mhm.
I can respect that.
but
Hey,
there's
but I was really enjoying their green kits. You know, if you come at me like, okay, listen, for Italy, for example, like you have your classic kit, Brazil, yellow and blue, Argentina, blue and white stripes. You have your classic kit, 100%. But if you bring your away kit or your third kit and show a little bit of personality, so in Italy's case, they brought these. I believe they were like Renaissance green, so like, and it was just like so fitting because it was like, you know, a Renaissance new generation that's coming up now. It's a new team. Although they didn't qualify for this World Cup, we could have seen those kits again. But those green kits were stunning, like so beautiful, and I just love to see that. There's a lot of creativity in like soccer kits and stuff, and I'm real happy to see like that going forward as well.
and if you think that there are teams that blundered, you can check out my article on bdsports.ca, where I talked about the 3 biggest kit blunders that you will see at this World Cup. Trust me, there's a lot. But anyway, another game that I think that like is going under the radar that 2 major countries that are in the same group is Germany and Spain. That's gonna be a must-watch game.
Yo, that's a throwback game right there that just takes me back to like 2010, 2012. Spain winning the World Cup,
Yeah.
Germany winning the Euro. Yeah.
Other way around.
What did I say?
But it's
Spain had
I know, I said.
the noted distinction of winning a Euro World Cup and then
and
a
Euro again
Like,
right after.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
I
god,
said no. I said Spain won the
those
World Cup because you know what? My team in the 2010 World Cup. I know I said I like Belgium and Fellaini, but
Spain.
my team in that World Cup was Netherlands. I love
Oh
the
yeah.
bright orange
Mm.
jerseys. You got Robin van Persie,
that's
Arjen
my
Robben,
like
uh,
all
Schneider.
time one of my favorite
Yeah,
players.
right.
Robin van Persie, man. Oh,
I
loved
even
him.
remember
Man
the
United
goalie's name,
legend.
bro. Stecklenburg. Okay, like
He's still
I'm.
around.
Is he really? Wow,
Yeah, I don't
man.
think he's on the team this year, but
Ah,
I know he's still playing. Yeah.
okay.
I believe he's in the
That's
Prem,
cool.
but I could be wrong.
Another
Good for
thing.
Or
Stecklenburg.
in the championship.
Another thing that goes under the radar too is that Netherlands side didn't win a trophy.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Generational
Dude, the
players.
flying headbutt, like that is that's probably my favorite soccer goal, man.
And
That
then
was
and then
incredible.
he the way he celebrated too was he ran up to his the manager Louis van Gaal, because Louis van Gaal was actually taking over Manchester United where Robin van Persie played at the time. So it was kind of like
Man.
what we thought was gonna happen, what everybody thought was gonna happen over at United, but obviously that didn't work out.
It started out like that, actually. It really did, and then
Wheels
injuries
came
kind
off.
of took their toll on Robin. And it was so sad to see his downfall because every time that guy played, uh, he was only at United for a few years, I would say. Like he spent the majority of his career at Arsenal, and oh my God, every single time that guy was on the field, it was like just watching magic happen. Basically, that guy's like pure technical ability inside the box is second to none. Like he was fantastic to watch.
And
It's
one
gonna
go, you can go.
it's gonna bother me now. What was Schneider's first name? Was it Wesley?
Wesley.
Was it Wesley Schneider? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just needed to confirm that for
Oh,
my
okay.
2010 brain.
Also, there's the last group H is actually pretty tough. It's they're all like strong sides in their own way because it's Ghana, who obviously they show passion. African teams have been on their rise recently, and they've definitely showed heart in the tournaments. You have South Korea, who arguably have a top 5 player in the world on their team right now, and he pops us for his nation too in Heung-min Son. You have Portugal, arguably one of the best teams in the world, and you have Uruguay, who always show up at international competition and actually knocked out Portugal in 2018.
That's a crazy group.
It's definitely going
Mhm.
to be tough.
Well, another thing to note, that will be the first time that Ghana and Uruguay have played in European like a tournament like the World Cup basically because that's the only time that they're going to play in a situation like that since
Yeah.
Luis Suarez they played
Oh,
in the quarterfinals.
that
Yeah,
happened.
they played in
The
the
handball.
quarterfinals. The handball,
Which
dude, Luis
tournament
Suarez.
was that?
2010.
2010?
So this would have been World Cup
Yeah.
2010. So Luis Suarez
Yeah.
is on the goal line and rescues like the Uruguayan national like team by just absolutely just fist pumping the ball from going over the line. So he's sent off, and it's a penalty is awarded to Ghana, and then Asamoah Gyan, who was Ghana's player of the tournament, like uh going into like think here, that guy Asamoah Gyan was like he was gonna eventually become like one. He was predicted to become one of like the best players in the world. Like he had all the abilities in the world. He steps up and he skies that penalty, and I'm sorry to say, but like his fortune started to take a downhill turn after that tournament. I'm not gonna lay that single penalty alone at his feet as being like the cause of his downfall, but ooh, man, if you could turn back time and he scores that goal, who knows where African teams are right, or at least like the Ghanaian team where they would have went. They were on a mission that tournament, man.
There's
Michael
I
Essien on
enjoyed
that
watching
team,
those guys. Yeah. I remember
man,
watching
they were
like
fun.
there's one more
was there a guy on that team named Prince or something like that? I have this
Kevin Prince
memory of
Kevin
like,
Boateng.
Prince Boateng, yeah,
guys, how do I
that guy.
remember this
Oh,
stuff?
that guy was world class for a
Okay.
time there. He used to play for AC Milan. Who that guy was second, like oh beautiful, like he was a real good player to watch.
There's also one more thing I will say about that penalty, David. The guy, I don't remember his name, but he skied it, right? And then they went into
Yeah,
penalties. Uh, he was actually the first to line up to take the first penalty for his national side after missing that one, and he scored it. So
Okay,
yeah,
thank
like
God.
okay.
think about like the mental there for a second.
It's just like weight of the world. Like that's your. I believe that they were that happened in extra time as well.
Yep,
So if
they
he
would
had
have gone
scored
through.
that pen, they would have went through like regardless, and he wouldn't have had to like fair enough. Hats off to him. He had the like the gall to miss that and then go up again, and he put it away. Like I like most people crack under that sort of pressure. I could like literally only imagine. We saw at the last tournament with England, like they had three
Three.
teenage teenage relatively young players step up in a row and miss, and like that could realistically ruin somebody's life. And I'm
Saka's been
glad to
flying
see. I would
since.
say Saka's been playing very well. I love Marcus Rashford. Sometimes he's a bit hit or miss. He's definitely not at the standards that I used to put at him. I thought legitimately like he had the talents to become one of the best footballers in the world. It just hasn't he hasn't really lived up to those expectations, but I still love him regardless. And and the other penalty taker there was Jadon Sancho, and he kind of hasn't been living up to his expectations but he's also 21 years old, and I guess we could just, or 22 years old. I guess we could see, he's still young, so there's still time, especially for all three of them. There's still a lot of time, but in any other circumstances, that's like weight of the world, weight of your nation on your shoulders. Like most people crack under that sort of pressure, and like you just can't take away from people. Like I know people say like, oh, it's just like a spot, like you drop the ball, it's you and the goalie, you're like 10 feet out. Dude,
Penalties
it's
are hard, man.
so much more than that. It's so tough.
Yeah.
Like the mentality you have to take into a penalty, just taking a penalty in general, second to none. Like
Two follow-up questions about England for you guys. If you guys don't know, well, you definitely know one, but are all three of those guys returning to the England squad or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
Rashford is. Sancho wasn't called up.
What?
Well,
Really?
dude, he hasn't played for, like, he barely plays for United right now.
Southgate
Which
dropped
is
Sancho? Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Well,
that. I didn't look at
listen,
the English side yet, but
we're gonna go into like something here. Like I just said that about Jadon Sancho, knowing full well that Harry Maguire, who
got
was
in.
called up for this tournament, got in, and I think he played the first two games for United. They got like absolutely embarrassed both of those games. They had to switch him out. They play another two center backs, Lissandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, who were miles better than what Harry Maguire was putting out on the field. And Harry Maguire still got called up over current Serie A
Tomori.
Italian League champion Fikayo Tomori, who, if for anybody watching, could have actually aligned. Like he was, I think he was
Canada.
born
He's
here.
Calgary.
He could have joined the Canadian national team, but chose to side with the English national team because he thought there was a road to him getting there, and by all means, he should be there. And man, that might legitimately like blow up in Gareth Southgate's face this tournament. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's definitely going to be something to watch, though. That English defense,
I think they'll be fine.
might not.
I think they'll be fine. I'll be honest
They'll
with
be
you.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, no, 100%.
You got to give Southgate credit. Like he knows his guys. He knows what he wants. He picks the guys that he knows will listen to him. He picks the guys that he has. Like he has a favorite list, and obviously it shows, right? And it's worked
Yeah.
out. He's gotten he
Go.
went to the Euro final. What other England
And
managers
the
will do
tournament
that?
before, dude, the tournament before he went to the
Semis.
semifinals where they held the lead to Croatia, and even in that tournament, it was like one costly mistake from Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane. Sorry, it was technically Harry Kane's like fault. He should have squared the ball across. Like he literally had an open man, but he tried to take on the shot and he missed. Like if he scores that, like England are on to a World Cup final. Like that would have been the first time that they had done that since 1966 when they won the whole tournament, right?
Wait, so
He definitely has his system and he has his favorites and he knows how to get there. Whether or not like you fully agree with all his tactics, and sometimes they're a bit like they kind of take like steps back, but they still end up coming through. They're definitely a team to watch. They legitimately might like crash out in the group stages, or they might even go on to the finals, maybe win the tournament. Like who realistically knows?
the only
Like,
guy
it's
that
crazy with them.
the only guy that I saw dropped, that I know for a fact was dropped, that should have made the team, in my opinion, was Tammy Abraham. That's the
See,
he's
the
a key
thing with
replacement.
Tammy Abraham is the thing with Tammy Abraham is I know a lot of people were upset about that decision. Like they brought Marcus Rashford. Callum Wilson is on the list. Tammy Abraham hasn't been playing that well for Roma. He
But
actually
it's a
even
pure
like
nine
last
though.
year.
It's a pure 9. Like that's the thing, right?
No, I understand, but I think on current goal scoring form, like Callum Wilson has like 10 goals already in the Prem for Newcastle. Rashford's had made much improvements this year. He's not going to be your striker. He
Oh, he's a
prefers to
left
play
wing.
off on the left wing. Yeah, so but he can do the job there.
But there's
Like you could throw him
but
as your striker.
Tammy Abraham is legitimately a pure
Yes,
nine.
no,
Like,
I understand. I understand completely. But see, that's the thing. Like, that's the argument against that decision is
he's not
like,
hot. Yeah, that's fair.
there he's not in form, right? I don't know. So we'll see. Like, it's just there's so much like hockey. Soccer like hockey is just so layered. Like, you could go so in depth with
I want to
soccer,
start
and
using soccer
especially
terms in hockey now. I want to start being like, yeah, Matthews hasn't been informed lately.
That should
yeah.
be a thing
Oh, dude,
across all
that's hard.
sports because that should be a thing across all sports. Genuinely,
It's
because
just
in
funny
form,
to
out
see
of
the
form.
language change,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Just from hearing
Yeah.
you guys talk. I find that really interesting.
I'm a big
It,
like I'm really bad at like saying like in soccer it's called goalkeeper, right? I'm bad at like I usually say keeper in hockey too. I don't know if you guys notice and keep up on that, but
I do that too.
yeah, I get that's one of my
I know
sins, I guess.
in hockey they go tendy, tender, like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But in
goaltender.
soccer
Yeah,
it's keeps. It's
Yeah,
keeper, keeps, Yeah.
but
You also hear it from Brian too. Instead of saying zero,
no,
or like I'll say it too, like we'll go like nil, like 1-0,
yeah.
something like that. It's just like force of habit. But it's like let's converge all sports together, man. I say
one
we start
language.
like, yeah, just
Right.
say it
How can
all
we
in
get
one
F1
language.
talk into hockey? Okay, like you gotta go with the box. Okay, like how can we do this? Huh?
Penalty box, fox. The ref says still player.
Yeah, yeah. Could you man?
And another more personal
Oh
thing
man,
I want to ask you guys. I'll start with Dave. Christian, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Do you guys feel it's
sounds
World Cup
good.
season?
No. So I know everybody. I have the exact same feelings as most people. This World Cup should not take place in the middle of a soccer season, and you will notice it. These players are gonna
Get hurt?
they're gonna get hurt. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more injuries this time around. There already have been, like, before the tournament even started, so we might actually get robbed of some like proper talent. I know the big thing in around here was one of the last matches for Bayern Munich before this tournament started. Alphonso Davies went off with an apparent hamstring issue, and stuff like that could take like about a month. And we at that point it was like 2 weeks away from the start of the tournament. So losing Alphonso Davies, arguably the greatest Canadian soccer player in in history, right before their first World Cup appearance in like 36 years. Man, that would not have been a good look. And it's the same thing all across the board. This should be like, there's a reason why these tournaments are played in the summer. They give the players time to relax, have a break, have this month-long tournament, give them a little bit more time to relax. At that point, the transfers, like, people will make the jumps to different teams, and then you start getting back into the groove again when the season starts up again. Like, there's a reason for that, and it just like, I guess we'll see like what type of product basically like comes out of it this year. If it does well, maybe in the future we'll see something along those lines again. But if it doesn't, and I know you like, FIFA's been critical about it recently. Former president Sepp Blatter, who notably is not the greatest person in the world, very, very money hungry, but like, who isn't?
Corrupt.
Yeah, a bit corrupt. He came out and said, like, yeah, we definitely shouldn't have given Qatar the tournament. It's like, okay, well, you're
Yeah,
saying this with like 3 weeks left. You couldn't have said this, 12 years ago when you guys awarded it to this country.
yeah.
Listen.
I find that hilarious because I had to write a homework assignment on that recently. Like I chose that article because I saw that article, and in that article he basically says, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. And it was a vote, and he basically doesn't even take any blame. He just says like, yeah, it was that the other guy Platini, I think, or something
Yep.
like that. He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it was that guy's fault, Mister UEFA over there. That bozo is the reason
yeah.
that this happened. Like typical
Notable
corrupt man
also,
stuff. Yeah.
notably not a.
Just like in the fine print at the end of the article, Sepp Blatter was actually the reason he's former president is because he wired money illegally to that guy that we also met. I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
just corruption. It's synonymous with FIFA, And
It's so
the
bad.
casual fans' take, I guess, is that, like I said, I don't really watch club soccer outside of hearing it from people around me, like you guys. So I don't have that same level of detail that you guys do in terms of like the football season and when it would make most sense to have the World Cup. Obviously, this sounds like it's a nuisance. It's kind of like the Olympic break in the NHL, which you'll see guys get hurt there. So probably not ideal, but selfishly, I'm curious to see how I'm gonna view this World Cup compared to past ones. Just from a climate perspective, the excitement. I'm curious to see what it'll be like, but nonetheless, I'm hyped for it. I'll be definitely just throwing it on casually for whatever match is on in my day, just because international soccer, I'll get riled up for that. Yeah,
So, my take on this is actually that I actually don't like the idea of having it in the winter because
yeah,
when the soccer season goes on, it aligns like the club season. It aligns with the hockey season, right? Then when the playoffs and the NHL playoff season ends, that's when the World Cup. Give it a week or two after. That's when the World Cup starts. So I would have
yeah.
legitimately 12 months of straight like sports content, sports to watch, right? But now that it's
Yeah.
overlapping, it's so weird, you know. I prefer having the summers. Just, you can chill in someone's backyard. You can relax, you know, the nice summer heat on your back while you're watching it. I don't. I'm not doing that in Canada,
That's
man.
why I became more invested
I'm,
in the Jays this year, right? Because it's like, okay, hockey
yeah,
season ends. I need something else. I've got F1 to give me that little in between time between the Leafs round one loss and playoffs. So I mean, and regular season for the Jays. That's that's the bridge there.
yeah.
But I get what you're saying, Brian. I sympathize with that.
And it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I believe 2014, Jonathan Veras got hurt at the Olympics.
Yes, he broke his leg, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
then
yeah,
it obviously affected the Islanders' season that year, right? Your best player's
yeah.
legitimately injured. Could you imagine the outrage if, like, I don't know, Son,
Leo Messi.
Saka, Messi, Mbappe get hurt at the World Cup and it's season ending? Like that would be ridiculous. Like the
Well,
outrage would be crazy from the
for
fans.
yeah, for a team like PSG, you brought up a great example right there. And I said Messi, you said Mbappe. For a team like PSG, who have pumped in so much money over the past 10 years into that club, especially over the last five, with those two players in particular and Neymar, who also could he's a notable figure to get injured and has been injured at tournaments like this before, notably the 2014 World Cup in his home country. Uh, if one of those three goes down and PSG, who are set to play, who are they playing Bayern in the round of 16
Yeah.
for the Champions League, Brad?
Yes.
That's a real tough matchup for them. If they don't win this year, like for them, they're pumping that money in to win the elusive Champions League that they've never won. So how does that look on FIFA and stuff if one of those players, maybe two of those players goes down this tournament? Like, not saying that it's going to happen, but there are
It's
circumstances
possible.
where or
Definitely.
there's a definitely a scenario where an injury like that just completely tanks a team. Taking point, PSG tanks their season.